Everybody, it is hot as sin. We've been over 90 degrees here in Minnesota for pretty much the entire week. Sometimes the high 90s. I believe we hit 98 one day. And what better way to handle the blazing hot weather than with some golf on your Nintendo Entertainment System? Let me make sure I've actually got sound here. It's okay, yes, I do have sound. So, I own this game, actually. I do own a cartridge of golf, and this is pretty much the template for every golf game that has come out since this. Every golf game that you play at this point will pretty much follow the same general path. It's all about aiming your shot, using the meter to hit it, and then going from there. One thing you'll immediately notice, though, is that NES Golf, you can see me kind of moving my shot arrow there. It's not smooth aiming, so to say. You kind of get a few cardinal directions, and that's just where you aim. However, I will say it's kind of cool that I point towards the trees, and the trees actually show up on the little... preview window, that's what we'll call it. I'm not sure what the actual name for that is, but let's take a shot here. Yes, there is no music in this game. That silence that you heard is exactly what you get with this game. You can at least select your golf club, so that's something. However, it doesn't really give you a good indicator of how far each club will actually get you. Obviously, it kind of goes from most potent to least potent here, so we'll just try a 1-iron here. And it turns out that that was way overkill. So, we'll go down to maybe like a 5-iron. That's also overkill, and we are out of bounds. You know, the first time I played this on my actual NES, I didn't have issues like this. But there we go, we're on the green already, so all is well. Now, your putting aiming is a little bit more precise. You do get your little arrows there to denote exactly where the slope is on there, so we'll just give it a decent little hit here. No luck. This may be the template for golf to come, but make no mistake, they had to figure out some issues with it. Oh, gosh. And maybe these are all just my issues that I gotta figure out. I can remember this not being quite as difficult the last time I tried it out, but no big deal. There we go. An absolutely abysmal score, over 6, 10 strokes on a par 4. There's no denying that it would be intensely helpful to have an indicator of how far each club actually goes. We can see that we're 395 yards out, but we don't have an indicator telling us how far our clubs are going to hit us. At least not that I'm seeing. I also, you've probably noticed, I have added a controller tracker in place where Meme Man was. That was thanks to feedback from a viewer who said that that would be a most helpful thing to see. Well, that didn't work at all. Water hazard right off the bat on this course. Let's try a 4-wood. That is technically out of bounds. Yeah, if you hit trees in this game at all, that's just straight out of bounds for you. You don't get much leeway in terms of how it's going to go for you. Well, that is technically fairway, so I guess we're good there. But yeah, I got the feedback saying, hey, on the baseball episode, I have no idea how you were actually controlling things. Maybe you put a controller tracker on there somewhere. And I thought, you know, I'll see what I can do. And so here we are. All right, we're on the green. We're going to botch it. We did not botch it. Have some confidence, they say. That, too, was not a particularly good hole, but... You know, again, This is like the prototype for golf games. They do get better from here on out, but you gotta walk before you run. A reasonable little chip onto the green. Ooh, we way overcompensated for that slant there. Now, I'm probably gonna wind up playing 18 holes a couple times because NES Golf only has one course, and it's this. So there's not a lot of variance in this game. Let's try just aiming straight for it. No, that didn't compensate enough now. Obviously, takes a little bit of mastery to be not trash. We're just basically repeating the exact same patterns. There we go. You'll sink it eventually. We're currently shooting a plus 13 on this course overall. That's not exactly impressive, as you may expect. That was not out of bounds, so I'm kind of counting my blessings there. See, and this is where, when you don't get complete freedom in where you're aiming, things get a little bit suspect. Hey, I'll take a bunker before I'll take an out of bounds. It's a small consolation, but ooh, I should have just sent that. I should have went full power. It's okay, we can pitch it right onto the green. This may seem absurd, but that was actually the best hole that we've done. A bogey? Considerably better than anything else we've weaseled our way into. There we go. The wind definitely worked in my favor this time around. We'll trust the game with this aim. We'll just let it go to where the game says we should aim, and that went way too far. Well, gee. Now, I'm sure that if you were to have the original manual, it would very likely contain information on on club distances and how much to expect you would get out of a swing. But clearly, even though I do own, jeez, the wind ain't helping as much as I thought it would here. Even though I do own this game on a cartridge, I do not have the manual for it. I've just got a loose cart, which I don't own any NES manuals. Honestly, they kind of get in the way, which may sound like sacrilege to some, but... Oh, look at that pitch! It's not even on the green. We just gotta smash it. Nope, so it is way too close to the green. Let's try sand wedging it in. There we go, the sand wedge got us in there. But yeah, no manual. That may very well have information on where you want to go. Ooh, lots of wind here. Let's give this a shot. That's about as good as I could possibly hope for at this point, you know. Let's try a 5-iron here. Aim that way to compensate for the wind. I'll take it. You know, it's not perfect, but I will take it. Out 6. Does that mean we're on hole 6? I would have to assume so. No, the pitching wedge. Yes, that brought us good luck. So this clearly has a more intense slant, judging by the fact that there are more arrows, so we'll put just a little bit of heat onto it. And that's a par. The first par of this godforsaken game. There are definitely more examples of golf on the NES, and this is absolutely the most archaic one. But again, it's a black box launch title. What else are you going to expect from it? Let's try a forward here. Don't send it completely, just put a little juice on it. Oh, that should not have been out of bounds. That's how the game does it to you, though. So this is not good aim, but this is also not good aim. Like you're seeing the conundrum with the less than stellar aiming options that you've got in this game. I should have just sent that all the way. But you know what, let's... Oh, actually, kind of went to my favor. So we're not on the green, but I want to see if we can't putt it in anyway. Alright, that was a definite yeet kind of situation right there. That hurts, as one may expect. Well, this is not a par, to say the least. Ooh, that was a beautiful little 6 over. This is a treacherous one. I remember this. You can aim it for this little opening here. And as it turns out, we did just fine. We made it into the opening. So let's go down to like a, let's try like a 7 iron. We don't need a lot of distance with this one. I'm fine with that. We're on 2 shots. Let's just pitch it right onto the green. Oh, that is beautiful. Birdie try. Oh gosh, the pressure's on now. No! Did you see that? It went like directly over it. Oh, we botched the birdie. Oh, no, no, no. All right, we really got to put some heat on this putt. Oh, it's that downward slant, you know. From birdie to bogey, it's a tragedy. Now this, I don't like this. Lots of wind, so we'll just send it with the 1 wood. Oh, me oh my. Look at that. So we'll take our sand wedge. Just a little knock on there. And then this should be a par. It's a par. Thank God. It's another reasonable hole. Okay. Wind is directly in our face, so don't gotta worry about compensating for the direction. Go up to, oh, we probably only need like an 8 iron for this. This isn't gonna require a lot. Look at that, just that, the arc on that unit. And then we'll just put it in from the fairway, which is, I was gonna say a bad idea, but as it turns out, it went just fine. Maybe inadvisable to use a putter when you're not exactly on the green, but, you know, let's try a 4 wood on this, I think. We have the virtue of there being absolutely no wind whatsoever, so that's helpful. Look at that, just directly on the green. Birdie try again. Oh, but gosh, it's a putt. I'm gonna, you know, don't be so worried about what you might do. You just gotta go for it, and sometimes, as we can see there, it doesn't always pan out. Alright, from birdie to bogey yet again. At least it was only a bogey. That's what I'll say at this point. I do actually really enjoy golf games too. I love golf course design, and you know, playing golf games is probably one of the most efficient ways to experience as many different types of courses as you can, because you know, otherwise golf's kind of a bougie sport, you know. You gotta pay your clubhouse dues, you know, gotta afford clubs in general, and I'm left-handed, so nice. So me being able to afford clubs is even more difficult than for some other people. Didn't compensate enough that time. We should just be able to, yeah, go right in there. So, I enjoy the concept of golf, but I'm no good at it, and it's expensive. So that, you know, makes golf games a pretty positive thing, I would say. Gives you the ability to experience something that maybe you can't necessarily go out and do in real life. Hey, sounds like the concept of video games in general, right? And that's why I don't mind sports games at all, just like even on just a fundamental level. I know a lot of people who kind of And I think I mentioned this in my 10-yard fight episode. People who tend to kind of trash talk sports games. Oh, I should have re-aimed. This is going to be a bad hole, I can tell you that now. Oh, well, look at that. We put our ball here. How do you need a boat just to play this hole. This is absurd. But yeah, people tend to really have some vitriol for sports games, and I welcome them. They may not always be as fun for me as, you know, a Red Dead Redemption or a Devil May Cry, but they have their place. I've never been an athlete, so being able to pretend that I'm some hotshot superstar quarterback in a video game, you know, it's the kind of thing that gives people power. The same kind of power that you keep stuck in your back pocket when you played football in high school and can't get over the glory days. I'm sorry, that's a cheap shot. Let's try the 5-iron. It's a short hole. If not for the bunker, that would have been perfect. Although I do feel like I've already kind of figured out a lot of this. So this is a pretty considerable slope. Still overcompensated though. That's just the name of the game, you know. That's any golf game. Well, we went way too fast on that one. Whenever you try to putt, you will always wind up overdoing it. That's just an unescapable piece of the game. You really understand the concept of golf rage when you play a golf video game. You've seen those videos, those highlights, people breaking their clubs over their leg, freaking out, "Ah!" And you're like, dude, it's just golf. And then you play a golf video game and you say, oh my god, it's golf. And like with most things, you can't put the blame on anybody but yourself. Like, if you mess up at golf, that is 100% on you. Which maybe is what makes people even angrier about it. Oh, look at this. Double bogey. Hey, you know, if I'm at the point where it can say double bogey and doesn't just say, like, plus 10, I'm alright with that. Maybe it's a low bar to hold, but I'm amazed that I actually hit fairway there. I was expecting a terrible, terrible outcome. Downgraded the forward for here. Bunker is better than out of bounds. Obviously, in future golf games, if you hit a tree, you actually get the opportunity to try to get yourself out of that situation and, you know, untree yourself. This game doesn't even give you the chance. It says you're in the tree. That sucks. Redo your shot. There we go. That's a better wedge. And there you go. That's a bogey. Which again, at this point, I'm shooting 45 over. I'll take a bogey. Like that. That almost feels like a positive for me at this point. Yeah, I should have aimed a little further. No, actually, we're fine. We are fine. Let's try the 3 wood on this. I don't think I need the 1 wood. In the bunker, but again, it's preferable to an out of bounds. Nice. Oh, that was so close. Should have put it just a touch to the right. But what is golf but an exercise in hindsight? See, now this is a situation where I don't really feel good about either of these directions, so I'll just go full northeast and hope that the wind helps me out, and it did. The wind was a boon to me on this day. I think I can get away with aiming it this way. I was wrong. That was distinctly out of bounds. So we'll just go this way. I assume if the wind is high enough, you... Now, allow me a moment here to tell you why in this situation you have no good options. You aim this way, you hit it too far, and it goes right into the drink, right now out of bounds. You hit it this way, you go out of bounds into the trees. This is NES Golf's defining downfall. So we'll just take an extra stroke, because there's honestly no way out of it at this point. But look at that, though, right onto the green. Beautifully done. Actually, it's not even on the green. Disregard. Oh. Just a touch this way. It's not even a bogey. We're at plus 50. Hole out! Alright, so that's an entire round of NES Golf. 1-player stroke play, 2-player stroke play, and 2-player match play. Those are your only options. You get the one course. I hope you like that one course, because we're playing it again. We got to get an hour out of this game. We got 20 minutes out. Boy, look at that. We're on course to get like 3 games of golf out of this episode. Thank God, right? Fun fact, I was technically on the golf team in high school. I never went to a single meet because I was not good enough to go to a meet. I'm in the team picture. I probably shouldn't be. And it's one of those things where, like, you look back at a piece of history and you're like, did that even happen? This all feels like a blur. And that most definitely felt like a blur. I showed up to practice a few times, could never get the hang of driving. Was slightly better at putting, but yeah, never went on an actual meet. My dad had a left-handed set of clubs that he bought for a not necessarily a pro-am tournament, because there were no pros in the area. I grew up in a very rural area, but kind of a beginners versus intermediates kind of deal. So I used those, and then I never accomplished a single thing. I mean, at least when I was in track, I at least went to meets and I ran. That counted a little bit more. No such luck with the golf team. A bogey on hole 1, so that's already considerably better than what I did on the first attempt. I'm going to go 3 wood on this. I'm probably going to regret it. I don't regret it. That, I think, was fine. Go down to our pitching wedge here. Just a little smack. Yeah, look at that. This could be a par. It better be a par. We put a little too much juice on it, as we tend to do. Okay, but now we're like right next to the hole, right? Yeah. So now you just do a quick little double tap, get the double bogey. It's nothing to be particularly proud of, and yet here I am, feeling not that terrible about myself. So again, I don't know which is better here, the slight angle or the considerable angle. The wind tells me this will be a marginally better option. I'm glad I went for that. I think an 8 iron seems sensible in this scenario. It was very sensible. Oh, no, not the birdie try. That's just asking me to choke. Yep. It's got to put the pressure on you, But it's a par, so you can't be too upset about a par. We golfed, what, plus 50, plus 55, something like that on the last try. So if we can get below plus 50, I'll consider it a tremendous success. There's your 1 wood. Pretty sure you can just keep rolling with the 1 wood with the wind the way it is. You bastard game. So you can't keep rolling with the 1 wood. Let's go down to the 4 wood. You'd think that I'd remember some of these things from the last round, but no. Oh, that was on the cusp of not being in play anymore. Look at that. All right, We're botching it. We can still pull out a double bogey. And it's bad that that's, like, my target at this point. Okay, we did get a double bogey. But again, I just want to golf, like, under 50 over. Give me a 3-wood on this. I'm fine with it. I'm beyond fine with it. 6 iron. I think I can shoot straight. Yes, the wind didn't mess me up too badly there. You just chip it right onto the green with your sand wedge. Realize that you chipped it a little bit too far, and then just give it a tiny putt on. And look at that. That's a bogey. You know, even if we, like, bogeyed every hole, we would have a considerably better record than our first attempt. This is cursed. I saw the wind and I thought, oh, yes, it's in play. I thought for sure that would have been out of bounds. I think we're literally like a pixel away from being technically out of bounds. So that's, whew, that's spooky. We got no good shot here either way, but with the wind the way it is, I'll put it at a slight angle and hope for the best. Yeah, I think that was the play. I certainly think it was. Oh, no, don't do this to me now. Just gotta put a little sauce on it. Yeah! Okay, a birdie. It's not the end of the world. I almost want to go for the safe play, but I mean, you know, the safe play is for babies. Yeah, should have gone for the safe play, I think. But also, we sliced it a little bit. Let me try it again and try for a more accurate shot. Oh yeah, look at that, look at that. We were fine the whole time. You just gotta believe in yourself. I don't sweat bunkers. They mean very little to me, honestly. You just sandwich your way out of there, right? It's that simple. Just put a little bit on this. And there you go. A perfectly acceptable bogey. I mean, when you're golfing at a high school level, they usually say that, like, golfing plus 10 is considered fine. Or at least that's what the kids on the golf team said. I have no idea what the national average is for high school golf. Whoa, it's a hole-in-one! Oh, I'm so pogged right now. What? That's never gonna happen again. That's never gonna happen again. Now, that's the highlight right there. Send that to ESPN. Man gets hole-in-one on NES Golf. I can't believe that. I can't believe that happened. And then can we follow that up with a juicy par? I think we can. Yep. Oh, gosh. I'm a little upset that it only said eagle and it didn't give me a big ol' rapturous fanfare hole-in-one. But I'm not going to let that ruin a good thing here. That was absolutely spectacular, if I do say so myself. Oh no, don't hit me with the birdie try. Arc it just a little bit to that side here. Put a tiny bit of sauce on it. Nah, I should have arced it more. You know what, it's fine. I think I can still squeeze a par out of this bad boy. I can't, turns out. I'm still riding high on that hole-in-one. You know, I don't care how bad this game gets now in terms of score. That eagle, that hole-in-one, compensated for any tragedy that may occur from this point out. I'm thinking a 5 iron, perhaps. A little bit angled due to the wind. I'm fine with it. Bunkers aren't nearly as damning as they seem. Like, bunkers, I'm sure in an actual game of golf they are pretty bad, but generally in video games, bunkers aren't really that bad. That's a par anyway. See what I tell you? Bunker, who cares? We shoot par in this game. At least, you know, for now we do. Let's try 3 iron. This hole ain't necessarily about sending it as far as you possibly can. That said, I am going to use 3 wood here. Let's just see what happens. We probably go in the drink. We definitely go in the drink. Which is, of course, a shot penalty. But we're also way closer to our goal, so look at that. You know, that was tactical. I totally meant for that to happen. 9 iron, take me home. And it did. Shooting for par. We get a bogey instead. Yeah, hey, I don't care. I'm going to be bringing up that hole-in-one for episodes to come. I don't know when the next golf game is, but well, you can bet there's not going to be anything quite that pogged when it does happen. So this is weird. I think we just go straight to the 5 iron. Oh, yeah, that was a perfect decision because this hole is tiny. Birdie try. I'm a little nervous. Why was I nervous? Look at that. The beautiful birdie. Bring us back down to a +6. This hole, however, is horrific. Let's just try a 1 wood. Shoot it out into the... We shouldn't have done that. That was a terrible idea. Now that we're a little bit closer, though, I think we can make it. We do have a little bit of wind that'll carry it up. Just a little bit. We're good. We're fine. Sandwich that sucker onto the green. And just put it right in. It's that simple. Don't even gotta adjust this. You just lay off the sauce. Lay off on any adjustments. Just trust that the golf gods will put it in there for you. We can't afford to be golf agnostics after that gorgeous hole-in-one. This, I think, is a 3 iron situation. And I think we can just aim it straight up. I wouldn't say I've made a terrible mistake. I think that, given the confines of the game and the aiming system, that's about the best that we were gonna achieve. Wish I would have laid a little more power onto that sand wedge, though, because now I've got a rather imposing putt ahead of me. Not a terrible putt. I mean, it didn't get in, but it did set us up for a bogey. Which, again, I'll take what I can get. We haven't even bogeyed on every hole. We're on hole 17 already, and we're only at a +8. That's pretty good, actually. All things considered. Yeah. Roll out of there. Neither of these are good. We'll go with this one because I think it's slightly less bad. Go with the 3 wood. Turns out it was awful. The other one would have been just as awful, though. There's no wind, and in a situation like this, no wind, I think, is considerably worse. Alright. 3 iron instead. Thank God that counts as in play. And then we just pitch it. It's on the green. Could have gotten more on the green, but now is not the time for regrets. Too much on it. I should have trusted the arrows and trusted that that was a bit of a brutal one. Way too much. So we just, you just put the lightest touch on it, and there you go. That's been our worst hole this run so far. That's single-handedly brought us up to +12. Again, I just want to hit plus 18 and that's it. Nope, that was a bad hit. A pretty bad hit. The game's gonna rip that plus 18 from us any way it can. Remember when I said what I said about this game's aiming system and how it's the most tragic thing that I've ever seen in a golf game? I certainly didn't lie. Okay, well, we gotta take a different approach here. We need to get it on the fairway, and now we'll have a much straighter shot going north. That's some aggravating design in this game here. They give you a hole, and they give you absolutely no good way of dealing with it. But what can you do? All you can do is work around the game and try to use its garbage to your advantage. That's a bad putt. What's our total score? Plus 18. I said I wanted a plus 18. We got a plus 18. That's averaging a bogey per hole. But of course, you know, I don't want to brag, but we did get that hole in one. I'm never going to live that down. So that's our top score now, plus 18. We can definitely squeeze at least one more game of golf out of this year. Let's see if we can do even better. We don't got to speed run this. We just got to make it pretty. Or at least attempt to make it pretty. I don't like this. Just gonna be perfectly honest about that. And yet it's not the worst I've ever seen. Sand wedge. And a slightly daunting putt. How did that get in? I saw into the future and I saw it just fly right by the hole, but we were graced with the power of something beautiful. Hard work pays off, dreams come true. Bad guys don't last, but bad guys do. Quote Razor Ramon, WWE Hall of Fame. This, I think it's a 9-iron. Given the wind, yeah, I think that was fine. That said, that water penalty is nothing that gets me excited. That was a bad pitch. You're not going to get a chip in with that, that's for sure. Ugh. You know, when you're trying to go for better scores, you typically don't like seeing double bogeys. That may seem like an incredibly obvious statement. That's because it is. Ugh. What do we say? We don't sweat bunkers. Bunker, just put me to bed, give me a sleep mask, and rock me to sleep, because that's how I feel about bunkers. That's a definite bogey. We need birdies, we need eagles, we need pars, we need anything but bogeys. But the power of NES golf is sometimes too strong to combat 8-iron. It's fine. And then we putt from the fairway like a pro. That put us right next to it. Look at that. No regrets. I now deem putting from the fairway as the new golf meta for all time to come. If you do not putt from the fairway, you are a coward. Oh, we rolled right back in bounds there. That was spooky. 3-iron because I'm a coward. I think cowardice was the right play. Exceptional. Oh, no. Don't Don't stress me out with that birdie try nonsense. Saved! We have accomplished exactly what we had to accomplish. Now we get one of these just harrowing island holes. Just don't go into the water, please. I thank you. Thank you so much. 7 iron. Acceptable. Also acceptable, I think. Would have preferred to get on the green, but yeah, it's going to turn it into a bogey, so maybe not exactly what I was looking for, but again, better than a +6, better than a +12, which I know we have golfed before. Just a tiny bit of westward wind. I'm hoping it won't put too much. It put too much. Now, I don't know if this game is on the Switch online library. I do know that Open Tournament Golf, that is NES Open Tournament Golf, is something else. But I think we had to go for that. NES Open Tournament Golf is harder, but it's also better. No! I was like a pixel off from being in bounds. This hole is a mess. Okay. Let's just pitch that right on the green. That wasn't on the green. This is an example of a very, very poorly golfed hole. You don't need me to say that to understand that that's the truth. This is probably going to single-handedly ruin our entire score for the game. Yeah, we're already at a +9. It's going to take a considerable amount of grit to undo that appalling display. The 3 iron worked fine. We're going to put it at just a little bit of an angle and try the 1 iron. The driver is not always the best move. Confucius said that. I like that location. We get a birdie try. That's, you know, when I said it would take a lot of effort to come back from that hole. Oh! No. That's the kind of effort that you have to start with, but you gotta kind of keep it going, you know, and missing a birdie try ain't gonna do it. And that brings us right back to a bogey again. That's not my favorite thing in the world, but, you know. A little bit of a slice on that. A slice or a cut? I never know. I just say slice all the time because I'm kind of a fan of the word, to be honest. My wife is not. She hates the word slice. I don't know why. We got the birdie, so that's plus. That's plus. That's a positive. We can still get a better score, you know. We're on pace for a better score. Kind of. As long as we don't horrendously botch the rest of this game. 6 iron. It's fine. Probably could have gone down to a 7. And now, you know, just like I said, what's the new meta? You putt from the fairway. That wasn't good enough. Oh, what? He made the putt from the fairway. That's not as good as the hole-in-one, but it is pretty wonderful. Yeah, okay, that's like highlight number 2. I didn't expect that to happen in like any world, and yet here we are. Oh, and then the birdie to follow it up, bring us down to a +8. That is something else. Good Lord. Perfect. I'm gonna call out my friend who is I believe he's a not a PGA pro, but a PGA certified trainer. I'm going to tell him, hey, you know, you're cool and all with your golf, but have you ever done this? This episode's for you, my dude. Yeah, that's all right. That's okay. Just the teensiest bit of an angle. Give me those pars. Give me those birdies. Give me those pars. I'm not going to ask for another hole-in-one because getting even one was, I think, a tremendous boon. Okay. I can deal with that. Go back to the one wood, I think, and then just shoot straight up. I think we just shoot straight up. I might regret this, but I regret it. Okay, well, let's go down to the 3 wood and try shooting straight up. Got greedy. Got greedy with my distance. And that is certainly not going to help the cause of beating plus 18. Let's see. Cowardice calls for a 9-iron. It's fine. It's fine. Look at that. Nearly chipped that right in. A double bogey, not necessarily what you're looking for. Brings us to plus 10. It's a little bit gross. Lots of wind, so we'll use a 6-iron. We did narrowly miss the sand trap. We're still going to use a sand wedge to pitch it in, though, because, you know, it's minimal distance. We should have put even less power on that. Man, that could have made it in. That could have made it in, but we're at a bogey. So now we have to be really careful. We're creeping up to that plus 18 faster than I care to admit. There's so much wind in our face, we can send this. We shouldn't have sent it. We're fine. We're fine, though. Look at this. You just send it one more time. Who cares about water shot penalties? It's all according to plan. See, now it just gets us super close to our... it doesn't get us close to the hole. Disregard me. That's, you know... What are you going to do? Cry about it? I might cry about it. I'm gonna cry about it. That was an abysmal performance there. So we can't give up even 2 strokes now, or we're just gonna be in an atrocious position. And this hole being the way it is, that was not out of bounds. Okay. Oh, I don't like either of these shots. They're both pretty terrible. But we gotta go with one, right? Save me, bunker. We didn't even go in the bunker. Alright. Quote Andre 3000. That is on the green, actually. It didn't look like it would have been. Oh my god. My heart stopped watching that. I was not confident. Well, look at that. What was I worried about? I don't like this shot. I like that shot. I lied. It was a good shot. I think we gotta play this the cowardly way. Use an iron, not a driver. Yeah. Give me that bunker. Give me that bunker every day, you know? Very rare that you find yourself using this angle for a shot, and I still don't think it's the right call. With the wind the way it is, that bunker turns out to be pretty nasty. No, I'm not gonna putt it from here. Now I'm gonna put it from here. No, 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 no. I can feel it slipping away. It has slipped thoroughly away. Double bogey. We're at a plus 18. So we're on hole 18 at a plus 18. We absolutely have to get a birdie to improve our score. And this hole is an abysmal mess designed to make you hate your life. So that's good. That, however, was a pretty good hit. I think we can go back to the one wood. Do you call it one wood or do you call it wood one? Personally, I think calling it one wood is kind of funny because I'm a child. Eat that right out of there. Ah, still wasn't good. So now we absolutely have to chip it in pretty much to have any chance. And it's not going to happen. Especially not if we do that. Oh, no. Okay, well. You know what we say about sand wedges? They're used in the sand. You could tell about my soul left my body and I just gave up completely. So that was worse than our previous attempt, unfortunately. We have not improved every time. Yeah, this game could do with at least one other course. It's 51 minutes in. That's not technically an hour, but... you know what? I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm just going to keep playing until the hour mark. I'm not going to rob you of 9 precious minutes of golf. We're speedrunning now. Look at this speedrun. Yeah. Call me Darby and speedrunning golf. Turns out when you don't think about it at all, yeah, you actually tend to do better. That was way too little thinking, though. We took the don't think about it approach and we ran too far with it. But, you know, it's not like we're making it to the end of this course with so little time left anyway, so who am I really trying to impress? But no, I like golf. I like mini golf games. I like authentic golf games. They're almost always a good bit of fun. If you're looking for a high-quality modern golf game to play, I would definitely recommend The Golf Club. It's an immensely well-created golfing simulator. Even better if you have a VR headset and you play the Golf Club VR. It really does feel like you're golfing. Extremely realistic golfing physics. Not that I'm the authority, you know, I'm no good at golf. But as it turns out, I'm no good at the Golf Club either. At least not in VR, so what does that tell you? It probably is realistic. If trash goes in, trash comes out. And of course, even like the older PGA Tour games, even if you pick up like PGA Tour 2006 for like the PS2 or something like that. Do I have that one? Actually, I do. I have Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2006 for the PS2. Even those games are good fun nowadays. And as an auxiliary like recommendation, there is of course also those in-between games that are. They're not mini golf, they're full-scale golf games, but they're also kind of arcadey. We're talking the Hot Shots Golf Series, or Everybody's Golf, as it is now known, or has been known in other regions. Those games are good fun. And of course, if all you want is mini golf, you can't get much better than Golf It. I know a lot of people are more into golf with your friends. I've always been a Golf It kind of guy. Maybe because Golf It actually featured Steam Workshop support before Golf with Your Friends did. Come on now, that's insulting. So I've had a lot of wild. we're clearly not trying anymore. But yes, I've had a lot of wild golf at nights with a lot of yelling and screaming and hollering, and then my wife asks what were you screaming about. I'm like, yo, A hole-in-one is always worth screaming about. Speaking of screaming, I got a nice strawberry pie waiting for me once I'm done recording this here, so I am looking forward to that, and that's gonna be a divine little snack on a hot day such as this. Stay cool, stay healthy, stay out of the bunkers. That's another notable piece of advice that I can give you. And golf for as high of a score as you can. We're going by high score rules now. No, now it's the most strokes wins. Actually, you might think this is a dumb idea, but do like an exhibition round of golf. Come on now. Do like an exhibition round of golf where the point is to get as many strokes as possible, but you cannot break over 100. That could actually make for a very interesting risk-reward system where you want to get as close to the breaking point as you can, but if you go over, then you're disqualified. There's something to that, I think. But the golf community is too hoity-toity for nonsense such as that. Maybe not as hoity-toity as the chess community, which I love chess. I'm no good at it, but I enjoy watching it. I have a big appreciation for it. But dang, chess snobbery is really a sad thing. We will be playing chess on the NES at some point as well. I'm pretty sure Chess Master came out for it. Wouldn't be surprised if there were a handful of other chess games on the NES, because, I mean, why wouldn't there be? I think I'm most excited for NES Jeopardy. That'll be a horrific time. I'm excited for everything, honestly. Like, even looking forward, I've got like 3 Donkey Kongs in a row, and I'm like, oh, that sounds awful. I can't wait. Not to say that Donkey Kong is a bad game, but I mean, come on, spending an hour in Donkey Kong Jr. Math, that's going to really test my patience. Possibly test yours as well. So all I can do is try to make it as palatable for you as I possibly can. Obviously, it's no secret what games are coming up. You can look up a list of every NES release, sort it chronologically, and give yourself a pretty good idea of when stuff is going to come up. So if there's a game that you're clamoring to check, if you absolutely cannot wait for Wario's Woods for the NES, I'd have to apologize, because that is literally the last game that ever came out for the system. So if that's what you're in this ride for, to check out some Wario's Woods, you're going to be waiting for a while. By my estimate, there should be nearly 700 episodes of this by the time I'm done. If I'm ever done. And as I said before, if this gains traction, we'll consider looking at some other systems while we're at it too. Look at that, a birdie trying. We're not really making any attempts to play this game well. We got the birdie. Go figure. Now that we've given up completely, the birdie just comes naturally. I hope that you're finding the controller tracker to be enlightening as well. Obviously, for a game this simple, there's not a lot that it can tell you. And yes, I am using an Xbox One controller to play the NES in possibly the most overkill setup you've ever seen. But I don't have a USB NES controller, so this is where we stand. Okay, now that was just silly. That was even sillier. All right, you know, what did I say? You putt from the fairway. That's the meta. That was a much better approach. Beautiful double bogey. Oh yeah, this is on pace for a terrible, terrible score. But I mean, we're pretty much at an hour already, so that's all there is to it here. Now this is going to look really, really dumb because I didn't think this through. Ignore this brief flash of Wikipedia. There. Whatever you saw, pretend it wasn't there. The next game we're playing, well, It can't be Gyromite because we don't have Rob the Robot. It can't be Hogan's Alley because the light gun doesn't work on a monitor. Which means the next game we're checking out is Ice Climber. A game known by most purely for having characters in Super Smash Bros. Not a lot of people have actually played Ice Climber itself, and quite frankly, you're not missing out on a whole lot. It's kind of a clunky game when you get to the straight and narrow of it, but, you know, you'll witness that for yourself tomorrow when we upload that episode. Until then, as always, thank you so much for spending an hour of your time watching me play golf. It's probably not the wisest use of your time, but no, don't say that. You'll dissuade people. It's the best use of your time, and you should do it all the time. And then watch me play an hour of Ice Climbers later, because you're going to love it. I can't guarantee you that, but, you know, I can have confidence in myself here. So yeah, obviously, thank you. Check it out next time. Tell your auntie. I'm sure she'll find this to be very invigorating content. And we'll see you all next time.